Hello, we are Team 36 and we did our project on vortex cannons.
What is a vortex cannon? A larger volume container with a smaller circular opening that can produce a vortex ring. The vortex ring of a vortex cannon is formed when a mass of fluid in the cannon is pushed impulsively from an enclosed space through a narrow opening. In this case, the colloidal flow is set in motion by interacting with the outer parts of the fluid mass and edges of the opening. The equations here are a long list of variables that affect the mechanics of the vortex cannon. These are the equations that dictate how the cannon works. We will elaborate on a few a bit later.
So how the vortex ring work? The molecules within the ring circulate around it, swirling up and around it in the direction of motion. When the membrane of the vortex cannon thrusts a burst of air out of the hole, it displaces the surrounding air outside. The surrounding air swirls around in the shape of a twisting donut. So when a fluid twists or swirls, we call the movement a vortex. The movement circles in the shape of donut, and the mathematical name for this is called a toroid. Therefore, the cannon generates toroidal vortices. This causes the air around it to push inwards like a giant mold, keeping the toroids together as it moves.
The Bernoulli principle states that as air picks up speed, air pressure drops. The equation for the radius of the vortex ring and the circulation are provided. As shown, the radius of the vortex ring is proportional to stroke length and radius of the gun and inversely proportional to the eccentricity of the bubble. Circulation is proportional to the radius of the gun and stroke length and inversely proportional to radius of the ring and stroke time. The nature of a torsional vortex perpetuates its motion across a room. Now, the initial velocity of a ring is shown by this equation here, which is a function of radius and circulation. These two equations are put together to make the distance traveled by the ring in a specific time. Those are a function of the dampening constant and the initial velocity.
Here's an example of a vortex cannon we made. It was made with a cardboard box and dry ice. You can clearly see the rings form and project forward.
Nice. Oh yeah. Look at that.
It was once proposed that cities could implement vortex cannons to clear the ground of smog. However, these were merely concepts and were never fully developed.
In conclusion, we've discussed about how a toroidal vortex ring is formed and the science behind the vortex cannon. We also provided equations which show relationships among each parameter involved in vortex cannon, and we mentioned some applications and history of this phenomenon.